something real quick.
Okay. What's up, guys? It's Corrupted.
And it's Dragon.
Back
We
again with
back
the final
on
episode of Hunter x Hunter for now. Because Viz Media just renewed a couple weeks ago, renewed the copyright for Hunter x Hunter. So we might be getting the new season finally. Fingers crossed.
that being said, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Happy Easter to y'all. We at y'all on this Easter Sunday.
Oh, yeah, it is
And bro,
Easter.
like if we freaking go and they get that anime back, cause I'm thirsty now, man. I'm finna read this manga as soon as we get done with this. I'm finna jump and read a couple of chapters of this manga. Cause man, dude, it's just so much. Like this show is definitely top 10 at this point. Like on my first watch through. That says a lot for me. But you get into all the kind of just gut wrenching turns and twists. Like Togashi really just did not care about like plot, like what's the word I'm looking for? Just like everything just hit you. If that's what I'm trying to say. It don't like Kite becoming growing up as a girl hit you. It hits you. Even though that's something that really wasn't foreseen, it hits you. And it's just good. Like you can't really predict the story, you can't really predict the outcomes. And this to be in the election arc, man, I tell you one thing, better name would have been Zoldyck family. Zoldyck family war arc. See, man, that was my highlight. It was a lot just going down from every angle. But
Well, like, the big thing, though, is like the entire reason that they go to war, though, is because of the election,
for a good reason.
because of healing gone. So
It's
it's
for a
like
great reason.
the election is like the thing that starts everything else in this little tiny arc, because only 12 episodes. But the election is
Man,
like
and
the
it
thing that
starts off
spurs
so
all of it.
hard. It start off like so intense, bro. Like, 'cause we just came off the masterpiece that was Chimera Ant and how it ended and everything, and they're trying to pick up the pieces with the new chairman because Netero sacrificed himself, which I get why they were trying to sweep that under the rug because Pariston let it go later during the election by how he stepped away for a while, and I'm like, why? Like, it was at that point as like I get why y'all say that because y'all didn't want the ants to have that much power as to like why because it would cause panic because everybody knew how strong Netero was. He got destroyed by these ants who
Well,
nobody
like,
knew about.
so there's a big part that like the thing doesn't go into, that goes into, like, it goes into more into the manga about it, and it's they're trying, well, they're trying to make it to where, like, the big thing Parston's trying to do, he's trying to make sure that the people inside the cocoons can't become hunters and get their power and use their power outside of being hunters. Like, he's basically like trying to, like, his entire motivation is he's trying to use the 5,000 cocoon people that are like superhuman because they're part human, part chimerian, and they have the ability to use in or nin. He's trying to use them in a way that, because I'm not that far in the manga, I don't know exactly how he's trying to use them, but that's the entire reason, like,
Damn, they
everything
still
is
popping
happening.
up in the manga. Shit,
Well, that,
these
like,
events
that
still
power
popping up in the
struggle,
manga.
like the
Wow,
power struggle that comes from that, that's like what
wow.
Pariston's like after, is that they're
Ah,
basically, because you saw, like, they're better than most hunter, like every 2 star, they're better than like everybody that's not a 2 star hunter for the most part, because like Palm post
so
night, she's like a 2 star hunter level.
all right. So that explains why the koala was having that conversation with Kite about like how yeah when I was a human I was still doing the same thing while I was a hitman, but when I came out and I had these genes and he's explained himself being digested and reborn and what that whole process was like, how he came out something better. Is that whole conversation's premise?
Kinda, sorta, but you gotta remember the people in the cocoons are humans that were
Because we got to
made
look
into
at Pawn.
chimeric hybrids.
like pond,
Palm. Yeah, Lake Palm.
palm. My
Yeah.
bad. Like palm.
Like you know how she came out like way stronger?
Yeah, we talked about it. How
Yeah,
she
yeah.
basically went from having that object to that object becoming a part of her.
Yeah, and then it made her enhance like it improved her enhancer abilities that were already very
Gave her
strong.
like yeah, gave her like yeah the triple look and all this other stuff that she could do and all like yeah nah. So yeah, it's a
So
piece
it's
of the whole
basically a
puzzle.
bunch of people that don't know how to use Nin were turned into people like Palm. 5,000 people were. They recovered. That's why the all those ships and Ging talks about it. How there was a bunch of ships that were supposed to be on maintenance. He's telling Cheetle about it.
Yeah, but they're gone. Yeah, but they're gone. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they went to go
I
pick up
remember
all
that.
the ant, like all the ant hybrid people. So it's like that's
Yeah, I
why
remember because
like
that was around the time. That
Pariston
was
was
around the
talking
time
about
because I
that
was
stuff.
watching. Nah, Harrison, yeah, because around that whole time when they was explaining all that, that was I had to go and switch my whole site because I needed subtitles because they
Hmm.
was talking a lot and like I needed to like follow along. I do that sometimes. I know somebody relate, but Harrison, he's just a character because I was getting all of that, feeling like his they were telling us his ulterior motive with the airships, but I miss the thing about the humans being in the cocoons and how important those were. I never put the fact that all of those people could have came out like Pawn in some way, Palm in some way.
Yeah, like we don't know how many of them are gonna be turned, like how
Yeah,
many
because
are
they said it's a
successful.
trial.
Yeah. Well, Palm was like the patient zero. They wanted to make
Patient
sure it would
zero,
work.
the
Yeah.
first one, the absolute first one.
Yeah. But like I'm not far enough past that to know like what's up with that. So I don't know like anything at. But that's like one of Pariston's like ulterior motives. Like he wants to be able to do that and then immediately gives it up to Cheetle because he thinks Cheetle can run it better.
That's crazy though. That's crazy. I'm trying
So
to
I
see
don't know
where this
like why
goes,
he's
man.
doing it. Like if he's trying to start a like create an army or he's just trying to make sure they can't be in charge. Like they can't join the hunter exam. Because if they can join the hunter exam, it puts like everyone below Zushi's level of talent in like major trouble.
And then
Because
you
they're
get
basically
to the
gonna have
point.
Killua and Gon's level of talent with
You
Nin.
also got the point too because now it puts that whole dynamic behind why they wanted. Because I asked earlier why they put Netero trying to sweep his thing under the rug. Now it all makes sense too because these guys took out Netero. They're also responsible for what Gon's going through right now. If these people, 5,000 people, come out anything like Palm, even remotely, anybody comes out remotely like Palm, I'm starting to see the the detriment to the association if they allow that. But I don't know. I feel like they could have went about it a different way. Again, first watch through bullshit. Not saying it's concrete, but Jesus Christ, like I'm just trying to piece it all together. Cause between that, the bomb that Gene dropped on Gone, and then cause bruh, I'm just gonna start from the beginning. Because like when you talk
Yeah, the
about the
Reina
election
stuff.
itself, yeah,
Well,
the
remember it
the
starts
you
with
talk
Reina with
well.
Wolfen and Bloister
Yeah, I'm going.
taking Reina
I
home.
ain't go back far enough. Yeah, because they was like I remember Welfin saying how nah, she's not talking, saying that he didn't think that she can't talk, it's just that she didn't want to. And
And it turns
I
out the whole
expect
reason is because she's
Bolster
like a
to be the
8-year-old kid.
yeah,
Well, actually, she's probably like
and
6. Cause what's his name?
like smaller than that.
Cause like Gon and Killua are 12 at the start, right? And so
Yeah,
they're 12 at the start. I assume that the older brother, Kurt, I assume he's probably 9 or 10, cause he's much smaller than Gon and Killua. So, and then she's the little one, and they had no dad, so the dad probably died, and that's probably the statue that they like, the first statue that they have, because you see she gets a second statue when the kids are dead, or after the kids go missing. So she's got to be like in between 8 and 5. So she's not very old. My guess is that she's 6 or 7.
no, not very
Right?
old.
Yeah.
I just didn't
Does
expect
it say like the official?
Bolster to be the one. Ballister to be the one to take her back. I didn't expect that. I thought it probably would have been Welfin or before that, but because Ballister, like, because when they brought back Ikaros, what is it? Is Ikalgo? My bad. When they
Ikaros,
brought
yeah.
Ikalgo back into it again after he took her home, because he didn't want to, because, bruh, it took me a second too, because you
She's
mentioned it in the
5.
last pod at the end. Oh shit, that's really young.
Yeah.
But you mentioned it at the end of the last stream how she was. You told me how about the situation, Rainy. We're gonna find that out, but then it was the next episode, and it took me a second to remember. But that was one of the first victims of the whole Chimera Ant
Yeah,
debacle. When them dudes first,
Kurt and Reyna are the entire reason the Queen becomes obsessed with humans.
yeah, because that was the who wasn't it Colt that abducted them?
No, Colt is
Or
Kurt, is the reincarnation of Kurt, her older brother. Um, it was the crab
that makes
guy,
sense. That makes
like the
sense.
actual,
Yeah, the
like the hard
crab.
shell
Yeah,
crab with spikes all over him that
yeah,
kidnaps him.
yeah. I remember. I remember.
Yeah,
I
but we see
remember.
the like touching spot, like, cause like the thing you were asking, like the koala thing, the koala conversation, I think is to just show us that souls exist in this universe. And the first like big thing that you get to see about it is Reyna's mother recognized Reyna immediately, even though she's turned into like this giant ant, like a
Yeah,
human ant hybrid. Like, and apparently it's
yeah. She's not
terrifying.
herself anymore.
Yeah, but like the mother, as soon as she saw her, just immediately was just like, "Wait a second, that's my little girl." Like she knew it
My
immediately.
baby.
And then like
Yeah,
she
my
just like Reyna
baby.
even asked, "How did you know?" And it's just like, "Of course I knew you're my daughter." Like the implication there, like that they have
She'll
like
always
they
know
have
you.
actual souls, like the modern interpretation of souls, which like the koala's conversation pretty much confirms. And then you hear like how bad Reyna feels because she couldn't run away, even though Kurt bought her enough time to get away, and she feels terrible about it,
Mm.
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's a good parallel to the same thing Gon was kind of feeling. Not exactly, but in the same kind of realm. Like you're more upset that you got the time to get away and didn't get away. Like she's more upset that she didn't do the right thing in the time that she was given, more so of what actually happened. Like Gon was upset about him not leaving when Kite told him to leave because he felt like Kite would have had more time to focus and at least have a better chance. Whereas Raina is upset because Kurt did what he was supposed to do, protected her to get away, but she didn't utilize his sacrifice in the right way.
Yeah. And then I love the moment where she goes up to Bravada and she's just like, "Thank you. Would you join us to eat?" And it shows like the ants, like the whole thing, the conversation Netero was having with himself, that could the ants really choose the human side over the ant side? And you see that at least Reyna, Bravada, Welfin, Ilcalgo, and Melioron, and now the koala, and kinda Kite, but not really because Kite's just reincarnated version of Kite because his soul, thanks to the baton, probably made him just fully reincarnate and wasn't like reborn like the other ones were. And Colt, the reincarnation of Kurt, they are all they all chose their human side instead of their ant side. Is what we see with that. Like when
Yeah, that's a
Bravada,
correlation right there.
yeah, like when Bravada starts to cry, and we see that they all chose their human side instead of the ant nature, which is really cool, like a really cool little thing, which is
So is that
super
like the
interesting.
same thing we could say like if the crab guy never brings humans to the queen, they don't really she doesn't get that same thirst. So a lot of this
Well,
doesn't
like she's
happen.
still hungry, but like the stuff that this version of the king doesn't do, like the king would probably still be like close to human size, but it wouldn't have been able to use Nin probably.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense, actually.
Like if that big crab creature would have ran into what's it called first? Would have run into like Gyro's people first, probably would have got wiped out.
Hmm. That makes sense. I like that. But at like, because I look at the queen whole situation, because the queen was basically like, because did they ever say what happened to her? Or did I miss right before what made her lose her original arm and stuff? Or was that Kite's doing?
Who's original? Oh no. Remember, they found the arm, like a local found the arm.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, like it
Okay.
probably fell off, like it probably got ripped off when it got stuck in the storm. Is the implication? Is that the arm got ripped off when it was stuck in like the tide of a storm or like in the tide itself? It's not really
Okay.
confirmed. Like exactly
But not.
like which one is how lost the arm. Just that she lost her arm due to something like that, which is interesting. Also, we see like how fast Kite grows, because remember Kite was like the size of a fucking like bean size, almost like smaller than the palm of your hand, and now a couple of days later, Kite's like toddler sized, and then we see Kite's like 12-year-old size whenever it's time, like and then Kite gets all Kite's actual memories back,
I
and
ain't
then
expected to. Like, cause, bruh, like they kept saying it was Kite. It wasn't until the last scene was gone that I actually believed it. But we'll talk about that later.
yeah, you don't really
But
they don't
nah,
really
bro. Another
explain
thing.
it that well. It's just going or not going. Jean knows that how the baton works, and that's the whole reason why. It's because she's the one that helped him come up with how it works. So like he knows that one of them. He probably didn't want Kite to tell him which one, but he knew one of the things is one of the weapons lets him reincarnate, which is cool.
But you get to, bro, another part of this, bro. The first episode, we still on that Killua, man. Killua and Nove's conversation, because Nove becomes just this stoic, like pillar for the crew, if that makes sense. Like he just everything ever since the incident with the end when he got um Poof's in when he caught it, lost all his hair, and went into the whole shop. He did exactly what his whole reconstruction metaphor, like how he felt the chaos. He internalized what he could, rationalized what he couldn't, or rationalized what he couldn't internalize, and found a way to continue to move forward for the better sake of the team, if that makes sense. Like then to see how, because bruh, that whole situation with how he came out of that castle, out of the palace, I thought he was done. I thought he was gonna off himself like Palm did. I thought he was gonna go down that same route, but he didn't. He took what he had, knew that he still had a role to play, and just went. Still being this leader, still being this emotional pillar, and we get to what he did for Killua, because Killua was gone. Like Killua was distraught. Like everybody who's looking at Killua kept saying, "Bro, I've never seen him this sad before." They kept pointing out the way he looked. They kept pointing out, "Oh, you just look sad. Like you usually have like this spirit about you. It's gone." And no tell this man, like, bro, you ain't gotta worry. We gon' heal gone. That man said, even if we gotta build the whole hospital around him. And I thought he was bluffing. We go a little forward, they really did that. They really built this man a facility around where he actually was. But Killua and his conviction, bro, like you feel that. That's when I go back to the part we said last time about how Togashi really did the dual main character thing really great. Cause, bruh, you pan away from Killua. I mean, excuse me. When the still story pans away from Gon and just focus on one of them, you feel the void. Anybody who was watching this can't say they don't feel the void. Like you feel the void once any one of those two people leave away from each other. And when they come back together, it's just a better story all around. That's my interpretation. I don't know if anybody else get that, but man, it's just Keela was saying I'm gonna heal no matter what, and he got something to go. Like we didn't know where that was going. I ain't definitely didn't know where he was going with that. But upon him leaving and then going straight to the Zoldyck, this man said he cleared all the way test gates up to 5,
Yeah,
and we
when
remember
the
what one
previous
looked
time,
like.
remember a year ago, or close to a year ago, the first time they did it, when he came back, he opened three.
Yeah, you
So it
right.
shows
You
how much
right.
strong. So that means he's physically, because it exponentially increases. That means like he's physically like 4 times stronger than he was at least. Because it's like 1, 2, 4, and goes all the way up. So he did actually more than 4 times. Like hold on, I gotta remember the exact weight of Heaven's Gate, or not that Hades Gate. Um, Hunter Hunter. It's 2, and then 4, then 8 for 3. So yeah, he 32 tons.
Wow.
If I if I'm not stupid.
I love the freaking meeting as soon as he gets to Silver too, because
Yeah, 32 tons.
the dynamic. Yeah, 32 tons is a lot, and we talk
Yeah.
about man, he did that out of anger. He was ready to get there. But his meeting with Silva, like when him sitting around, like this real father to son, like kind of dynamic that they got. Cause I kind of was been doing a lot of like character comparisons, you know. I don't know. I think
Mhm.
Silva has like I could be tripping. He has like a yellowish, like a light yellowish to his hair, doesn't he? Or is it white?
In the manga, it's white. In the anime, he's blonde.
Okay, so either or between Zeno, which I think he's just grayed out, but they both got
Well,
light
no, no,
colored
no.
hair.
Zeno has white hair since he was young. It's like
Okay, cool.
he's like
So
Killua.
I haven't seen that yet. So yeah,
Yeah.
that whole line is like Kilo. It started to see the comparisons why Zeno was paying attention to Killua back when he last saw him before Silver did, when he was like, Killua has changed. He's grown. And then you get to
He's
see it. Silver
matured,
gets to see it.
like the
Yeah,
exact.
matured. That's the exact word he used was matured. But Silver gets to see it. And he's seeing it in real time because they're having an exchange, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
They're having like a whole exchange. So it's like everything that they're doing, it's emotion based. Keela was actually like showing this and then, and he hasn't. Silver hasn't had a chance to see it, and I think that was a catalyst for why Keela kind of got the respect and treatment that he did going forward. Because going forward after this moment, Silver's position was masked until Subane later says what it is. And Akane, is it Akane or is it Akame?
Which one?
The other one, Subane, and then there was the long-haired one that came with Subane.
Oh, Amane.
It's
Amane.
a Mane. I'm all the way
Subane's
off.
granddaughter. Yeah.
A Mane. So
Yeah.
um Silva literally he respects Killua probably more than any of the other ones do. And it starts to make sense why a little bit, because isn't the mother, I think she's blonde, isn't she?
Um, I think she has black hair.
She has black hair. Okay. But that makes sense why Illumi and Maluki are on her side with the hair kind of dynamic. And Aluka is should by the same
Yeah,
dynamic
she
should
has
be
the
on her side.
purpley hair. She has the purpley
So dark,
hair. Yeah.
dark,
Super
dark
dark
colored.
hair. Yeah.
So
In some
from with
pictures, it's like
Illumi and Milky,
almost maroon.
Makes
Uh,
sense why Illumi and Milky
it's
on her
like the
side.
same color as Aluka's. Same color as Aluka. So like the super dark purple that's basically black. It's not quite as dark as Illumi. But remember the picture? It shows her hair. Let me the family photo. Or no, that's not the one that shows her hair. But it shows like they're it's basically black. It's like so black it looks purple. Is the best way to explain it. Her hair is so dark that it like when something gets real black it reflects purple.
Yeah, yeah. The
That's
light will
basically
reflect
what her
purple.
hair. Yeah, that's how dark her hair. It's like Illumi and Aluka and Miluki and the other one that joined the Phantom Troop, whose name I can't remember.
Oh, ooh, I know you're talking about. It's the little girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
she's a
there's two
Goldic
of
too,
them.
isn't it?
Alu, not Aluka. Is it?
I forget about her,
Let me see.
but not
I can't remember the fucking name.
Aluka, man. That whole situation. I
Ah,
know you're
fuck.
talking about too. You're talking about the chick from the Phantom Troop. I probably could find it. Just type in the Phantom Troop.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. Where the fuck? Members. Kaluto.
Yeah, Kaluto. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Kaluto. Yeah, I just
Kaluto's
couldn't
Goldic.
remember. Yep, Kaluto. That's a very interesting name. You know what I mean? Like super interesting. But yeah, the whole like interaction with her too, and I like the whole reason he's capable of pulling it off is all the stuff that he learned from Gon. To like not just like the he learned what's it called like learned Nin by hanging out with Gon, but he learned it from being around Gon is how he learned all the stuff. Like he gives the little speech about how being around Gon changed his life just enough to where he knows what he has to do now.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me,
Help
which
them
was really
understand
cool.
his goals a little bit more.
Yeah, and then there's the what's it called stuff with when he talks to his dad and you see like when he throws his dad's words in his face when his dad's just like I can't let you in there and he says if I can help out a friend but choose not to, is that a betrayal? And he's just like his dad's just like this little shit. He's right.
I know what you're talking about now.
I made him promise not to do this. So
You made
now
him
I
blood
can't
promise to never betray a
yeah.
friend.
Now I
Now look
can't
at you.
now I
Congratulations, you
can't
played
stop
yourself.
him. Now I gotta let him do it. Or like I'm teaching him the exact opposite of what I was trying to teach him.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah, he did. But also it like gives him what he wants. He wants him to be ready to take over the family business when it's time to come. And so since he changed that much, since like you get like he can tell like his son has changed that much.
Grown up, bye. That
Yeah,
boy
like he's
became a
grown up so
man.
much. Like it makes sense now. You know what I mean? Like him being lenient with him, he's just like, yeah, gotta let you do it. There's no reason not to uh, not to let you do it. Like, just gotta let you do it. Unfor- Unfortunate. Gotta let you do it. which is like a nice touch. And then he's just like, man, at least my son's asking. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, he's not running up in there and doing it. At least my son
Exactly. Yeah.
came in to ask. And then you see like how he spends time with Aluka, and you see like Aluka's so happy because they probably haven't seen each other in
That
years,
whole
if we had to
dynamic
guess.
too, like when they was talking about it, like just leading up to the whole point of introducing the Luca. Like you look at how Silva, he was looking nervous, but just he didn't understand at first until they just started dropping, and they did just some of the most just intense exposition dump that I've seen, but it was so good. Like the thing they did about Alika and her whole setup was the more they talked about it, the more like, bruh, my jaw was hitting the floor and I couldn't keep it off the floor type
The
thing. You
more
know what I'm saying?
terrifying it got too.
Yeah, like, bro, like what you mean? Like, it's okay. Yeah, you can grant any wish. Cool. And I'm like, all you gotta do is, yeah, you just fulfill three demands. Okay, cool. I remember asking myself before they said, what happens when you don't fulfill three demands? And when they told they actually had who was it? Was it Silver that told her, or was it the mama? I can't remember
I can't
if it
remember.
was
They just
Silver or the
straight up
mama
show
that
you
told.
too.
No,
There's
it was
like,
one of them that told the butler to, hey, don't don't fulfill none of her demands
uh,
today. Just deny
I think it was the
everything.
mom. I think it was the mom.
Yeah, I think she was like, deny everything. Don't fulfill no demands. And bruh, you could just see how she was just getting more and more scared every time she had to tell her no
Well, it was
before they
like
even knew
how
what was gonna
crazy the
happen.
stuff she was asking for. It's like, can I have your liver? Oh no, that's
Yeah.
not that one. That's
But
the
yeah.
one that Lumi was gonna kill for having the what's it called thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That was he
she
was
kept asking.
Illumi was
I think she
testing
was
out
just
the
asking to pick her up. It's can you pick me up? Can you give me a piggyback ride? And can you do something
yeah, it was
else?
the little stuff. Yeah, it was the
And then
little
it
stuff
kills
first that
her
she kept saying no.
and her boyfriend.
Yep, and the one she loved the most. So two people died right there and got their
Well,
head
also
clapped
remember,
in.
it's not the person you love the most necessarily. It's because her mom doesn't die. It's like the
Yeah,
people
but
that you spend the
also
most time with in an amount of
also
time.
a thing to point out too is the severity of the death. That was another thing to point out because those two got their heads clapped in, or her whole, but my bad, got her whole body just imploded
Yeah, it
or
got
squished
crushed
in on
into
itself. When
into
you look at
paste.
when they went to you, when you look at what they did to the other people, that's how they described it. No, they literally got ringed in like rags. The one of the most gruesome scenes that people had ever seen, type thing. So you realize how wicked that junk had got from the smaller level to the bigger level. And when they dropping all this on you, you got to realize the whole time I'm trying to remind myself that this is one of the Zoldyck family that y'all got in there. And then Illumi dropped the bomb on you. He was like, when they after they get done telling you about how you said the one he tested died, when they checked all them people
Yeah,
died, the
because
six
it
or seven.
killed all the people that she went to the training with, the butler
Also people
training
she
with
spent the most
died.
time with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not her mom. So
And
that's how you knew it
not her
wasn't the
mom,
person that
because
you loved the most.
no, it's person you spent the most time with. And
Yeah.
bruh, once you get to that point and you see that and Illumi dropped that bomb, he said, no, if he make a wish of her and he don't make her demands, he can end up killing the whole Zoldyck family. And at first it didn't register because I'm like, hell yeah, that's bad as fuck. I understand why he want to do that. Then, of course, when you get to talking about the stuff we done seen the Zoldicks do at this point in the Dragon Dive, we've seen what Illumi capable of. We see what Silver capable of. Just the butlers alone is just top tier. Bro, they could wipe out the entire Zoldyck establishment in one move. And
Hmm.
that's unprecedented. That's almost like saying you could wipe out the entire Suzuki clan in one move. Or you can wipe out the entire establishment of gods, the entire gods of destruction up in Dragon Ball, or the entire angels in Dragon Ball as well. Like, y'all understand? Like, you understand how freaking broke that is? Like, I see why you said that it was one person higher than Jin because, bruh, Nanika,
Well, not
you
Jin, but
literally been in
Marilyn.
Maryland,
Like
my
not
bad, yeah.
physically stronger, but the nin power Nanaka has is stronger. confirmed by Tagashi that Nanaka has like that he's seen we've seen so far. Nanaka's the strongest nin user
Period.
because it's borderline omnipotent.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Like you like
But
when it heals Gon, like what happens? It like causes an earthquake, and every hunter in the city can feel it. But like, or like the fact that Nanaka teleports Illumi to the other side of the planet, like to another continent.
yeah,
Or I guess to implicate, we don't know if it's another continent, but I feel like it's safe to assume it's another continent because he had to take an airship to get to what's it called? He had to take an airship, so I think it's safe to assume it's another continent. 'Cause I think Peruka is on the Aizen continent, if I remember correctly, because it's not super far away from NGL. Right, it's on the place where the Hunter Association is on the same continent as the NGL. Just the NGL is on like an archipelago or whatever it's called,
yeah.
like
I
part
get
of
I
an
get you.
island, like a collection of island nations off the coast. So yeah, it's Nautica is like OP as fuck. But also like with the election stuff, I like how it's like legit just an entire like for a lack of a better term, the actual election that the Zodiacs are trying to put together. Personally, it felt like a metaphor of how like people tell you like when your vote doesn't matter and stuff and like why certain voter laws are bullshit.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, of course.
because like the first thing is just like if you don't vote for somebody, like they set it up to where it, like Parston like argues like if you don't vote for somebody, you don't like deserve to have your hunter's license anymore, and that's like taking away driver's license. And then it's just
Yep.
like you don't get the rights of being a hunter anymore if you don't vote unless you got a good excuse. And that's just like saying you don't get your citizenship. It's like Parsons trying to say that because the entire reason Geen did it, like we know that he planned it out a long time ago was to show like how much Parsons sucks, basically.
Yeah.
It's like you could tell like his entire thing was just to show the rest of the Zodiacs that Parsons so much worse than they thought they were. Or Parsons like such a friggin' dick, for lack of a better way to say it. Like he's such a dick. Like I can't think of any other way to say it than man, this dude's a fucking dick. I hate Parston. But
Yeah. Harrison sucks.
there's the whole thing where he's just like you basically lose your all your rights as a hunter if you don't have a good reason. And then he's tries to throw it back at everyone. But Gain's just like I knew he was gonna do this from the start. I'm not stupid. I know how this game works. I've played this game longer than all y'all. Like his whole thing was he knew exactly how everything would go except for Gon being healed, and he played it out perfect. That's why he didn't have to show up to any of the meetings. He knew exactly what everyone would do. So he even got Beans to cheat it to make sure his thing got done because it would be the thing that the chairman wanted the most to happen. Because you see,
That makes sense too.
Geen and Parastons are the only ones that don't look like the animal. You know what I mean? Like they so I assume that Pariston's a rat, the rat, because he acts like a rat, and then I assume Geen is the boar because he's so hard-headed and headstrong, because that's what like boars are famous for. You know what I mean? Like boars are famous for being hard-headed assholes. Like that's like the whole like the
My favorite part of
boar
the election when my bad. Continue.
like what's it called? The boar is considered to be honest, kind, gentle, optimistic outlook, and they also known for having hard work, love of
Excuse me.
luxury, and
Excuse me. Excuse me.
often loyal partners. So it like makes it, and they also are like very it works too. They're known to be prone to be self-indulgent, and we learned from the last episode that's Gene's entire thing. He just wants everything that he doesn't have, so he's very self-indulgent. But the rest of them like look like they're like dress like their animal.
That is crazy. I didn't even think about that. I thought about it at the end why Gene wasn't dressed like Boar, but I never looked at it from Pariston's angle. Pariston not being dressed like a rat of any kind or
Well, he
showing
just
any
acts
kind
like
of
a
rat.
rat. So,
Yeah, but not seeing it visually, I didn't think about that.
but everyone else has like a design or like wear something like the tiger dude is wearing tiger outfit and he has tiger striped hair. The bunny chick wears bunny ears. The ox dude wears ox horns and has like a cow shirt on. The ram has ram horns on his ears. The dragon dude
Mm.
looks dragony.
Pretty much
The
has the
snake
head.
chick, the snake chick like can turn her arms into snakes. Cheeto looks like a dog human hybrid. Monkey dude is based like dressed like Sun Wukong. The horse dude's face looks like Sarah Jessica Parker. The bird chick is dressed like a bird. It's everybody but Geen and what's it called? Which is crazy. And also
But
Geen's like plan, like how he sets it up is hilarious because it's supposed to force Parson into the last place and then let Parson choose some like force somebody else. And the whole reason everything changed because Geen knew Parson would lose if it wasn't for Leorio showing up and punching him in the face. And the entire reason
pretty
Geen did
much.
it is because it was the most interesting way he could do it. It'd be the one that's the most fun for him. And he's just like, this just proves that
The part dude was the
I'm
whole
a good
dynamic with
hunter.
Cheeto.
Yeah, and Cheeto actually wants to do it because Cheeto would apparently make a good one. Like we're
Bro,
not really sure
Cheeto,
how good she'd be, but
the whole thing with Cheeto was like she really like set up a bunch of deception and a bunch of like drama through it because when Gene told her that you if you would have just tried harder in rounds 2 and 3 and applied like basically applied pressure and did anything you could to like secure a majority, you would have won. But he also tell her that you don't never listen, you too dense and all that. Then to come right around at the end of it, when Pariston was giving his explanation to Cheeto as to how he knew, he said he listened to Gene. When Gene said Gone was gonna die, was not gonna die, he just betted on it. Just betting on
yeah,
people he didn't knew, just like Gene would, which incinerates that he listened to Gene when she should have. When he listened to Gene when she shouldn't, when she didn't. That's what made him come out on top.
two,
If
three,
I said that
four.
right.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, that's what it ended up being.
Like real talk. Like he literally says that I listened to Gene because when Gene said Gone wasn't gonna die, I made the same bet that Gene did. So basically, iterating that I listened to Gene and you didn't, which is why I won. But then he turned right back around, made her vice chairman, and then succeeded, dropped his title, and then like
I
it
like
was
the whole
so
thing. If it
like it was
wasn't
funny
for Gon walking in at that moment, Leorio would have been the chairman.
for sure for sure. Like I 100% believe that because he was looking at it because I remember right before when he first said it, when they first asked him, when he said, I just want to say it gone. And he was looking at the dough then. And he set it up then, which I thought that was great. I enjoyed that moment a lot. Really did. Because at that
Also,
point, it let you know that he was waiting on gone.
I like how Leorio punched him in the face. Like we get to see the that he's an emitter, and later on in the
His
story,
inability is
like
cool.
in the manga, we see like it shows off how good Gene is at using Nin. He saw it one time and is able to copy it flawlessly.
God damn. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
reading the
like
manga.
so yeah, Gene like that's the thing about Gene, and he does it in like a more complex way. Like he punches someone through a wall with it. if I remember correctly. Like somebody's on the other side of a wall and he goes like up under the wall to punch him in the face using it. But it's just because Gene has like an insane mastery of Nin. Like he's so good at using Nin. And also, like I don't know if you know that because they don't explain it well. In the thing after Gon gets healed, Gon can't use Nin anymore, but it doesn't mean he can't never use Nin again. He would have to like cultivate it over time. Like he can't do like how Wing did it last time. He can't do that. He has to like slowly get his Nin back. It's not that he can never use Nin again, because he can still feel Nin, like with the tree. Like he could feel the Nin of the world tree. So
I'm
it's
with
like
you.
one of those. So he might come back at some point. We don't know. And also, since he got rid of his enhancer version of his abilities, he could come back as a completely different. Like he could come back as a transmuter or an emitter or something like that. Since he gave up his original nature, but he also might just come back as an enhancer, which is like another
That's
one of the
interesting.
reasons that he's like the theory that he's a specialist is that he didn't lose his ability to use it forever. He just lost that like the abilities that he had right then to become an adult. And then there's the other aspect is now that you know about the Dark Continent, the biggest theory in Hunter x Hunter is that people think Jean had a kid with something in the Dark Continent on accident.
Whoa,
Yeah,
really?
like it's like a clone of him or something made by some kind of power from the Dark Continent. Cause you see how powerful things in the Dark Continent are. Cause Nakana comes from the Dark Continent.
Monica?
Yeah, Nanako comes from the Dark Continent. So like you see like how OP the stuff is there, and like some of the super OP stuff in the Greed Island is probably from the Dark Continent.
Dark Continent.
Yeah, so there's a
But
theory
Gene made
like
it
that.
seem like at the end of going them conversation, Gene made it seem like he hadn't been there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he's been to some part of it. Or something happened. I can't remember.
When he said of the four things you needed to get there was, I know,
A contract
means,
means.
permission, contract, and what was the last one? It was means, permission, contract. It's like structure, preparation, supplies. I don't remember.
No, he never went there, but there's stuff that he's got ran into. Okay, that's what it was. It's he could have ran into something from the Dark Continent.
I remember he
And like
kind of
there's
blew
a
my
theory
mind
that
when he talked
Gon
about that tree. But no, when you talk about Gone and him being a specialist, it kind of made every time ever since you told me that, it make perfect sense. Literally, ever since you mentioned that Gone could be a specialist, like I've been kind of noticing it.
yeah, that's uh that's just a theory though. It hasn't been confirmed that he's a specialist, but like in my head, there's no world that he's not because he gets stronger every time he gets supremely pissed off. Like I don't see a world where he's not a specialist, honestly. Like it's gonna be really hard to convince me that someone that does that is not a specialist. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's really hard to be like, yeah, he's not a specialist. Don't worry. Yeah, I don't believe Big Dog. He sounds like a specialist. Like I know I might not be the best at math, but That sounds like a fucking specialist to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying. Sounds like one to me, which is super interesting. And then some of the other stuff I like when it shows Aluka's like the backstory with Aluka when she's playing with toys. A really nice touch is
I
that
was
she's
talking about
playing with
like
Sailor Moon toys.
say that again.
When Aluka like it shows her as a kid playing with toys at the dollhouse. She's playing with a Sailor Moon toy and Black Mask toy from Sailor Moon.
They look familiar. I didn't know that's what they were from. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they're
cool.
Sailor Moon, and it's cool because I don't know when they got married, but Tagashi is married to the girl that wrote uh Sailor Moon. Like his wife is the author of Sailor Moon. Yeah, he's married to Nakano Takeuchi, the creator of Sailor Moon. And they got married in 1999, so they were married a long time before this came out. Cause this came out, the manga came out in like the 2000s. Like the arc for the manga came out in the 2000s. So, but yeah, which is crazy that he's having them that she's playing with dolls that are from his wife's most popular work, and that's just funny to me. Like he's like shouting out his wife in the in
I
his
would too
manga.
though. If I was in this position, I would too.
Yeah,
You
like
wouldn't?
if you're yeah, I totally have like Sailor Moon references. There's probably more Sailor Moon references that I missed. It's just I noticed that one immediately.
Probably so, yeah. But
Which
nah,
implies that Sailor Moon is a manga or TV show in the world of Hunter x Hunter.
they was watching it, wasn't they?
I don't know if they were watching it. It's just the toys that she was playing with.
So what you're saying is it's like a fan. It's a fan.
Like, there's a chance that the
Basically,
Sailor Moon universe is a fictional universe inside the Hunter x Hunter universe,
I mean they watching it and reading it too.
or that it's just a toy line or something. But Sailor Moon as an
Oh,
idea exists.
means it exists. Yeah, it
Yeah,
just exists in their universe in some other
it
form.
implies it because they don't call them anything in particular, but it implies that people know that Sailor Moon exists, or at least some version of Sailor Moon exists.
But going to cause you when we talking about Nanika and all her powerness and all her just absolute OPness, you got to look into the same breath of how smart Kilo was to just use that exact same penis as like a crutch situation. I want to say just like an advantage for him, because when I knew the situation was finna go dire as soon as they mentioned that Kilo knows rules that we don't. As soon as they mentioned that, I knew the situation was about to go left. And this man really said, man, he hate his mama. I'm just gonna go and say that right now. Like he hate the F out of her. This man really said, Nonica, you make it to where if we get out of here, if we don't get out of to the mountain, like you kill mama. But if we was to make it out of there, then kiss me on the cheek. Bruh, he hate his mama. He absolutely hate his mama, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Like, bruh, that junk, because the thing in Silver and Zeno case, because they mentioned it when because this is why I knew that this right here, this whole part right here was gonna be one of my favorites. Because yeah, it was. Um, when Keela broke it all down to see how the whole situation was when they put the chart up to see how the whole situation was between him, the butler, all the butlers, and all the family members. That's when you knew that this was gonna be something crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you though. I ain't expect Illumi to go that far.
Like the killer or the second part?
Not just the first part. I ain't expect Illumi to go that far to try to take out Aluka, but it makes sense. It makes sense because how strong Aluka is. But I was not prepared. I was not. To have Hisoka right next to him too, I was not prepared.
Well, like I don't want to say they're friends, but they work together a good deal.
They're accomplices. to an extent. Cause boy, when Hisoka threatened and said, "If I run by Killua, can I?" Hisoka, boy, his whole damn bloodlust came out into the form of what was it, bats or was it crows? I think it was bats. It was too big. It was too big to be crows, but I think they was bats. When they came out in the form of bats, and he was like, "I'll kill you right now." Did he let Killua know he was there?
Yeah, when he tricks him into showing off his bloodlet, that shit cracks me up, and I love how he's just like, no, that was not my
That
intention.
was
It's just
not
a
my
happy
intention.
accident. Just a
Just a
happy
happy
accident.
accident.
This shit cracked me up. Also, like how like he was just like maybe I overdid it by making Hisoka creepy. Let's make him a little less creepy. Mind you, it's only a little less creepy, but it's still creepy. But it's
Of
like
course.
so much creepy, and it's just like let's just show it. Let's just have him kill people. And then when he like no diffs Goto is hilarious.
And
Like it
I ain't gonna
shouldn't be
lie,
hilarious, but like
that fight was great. Was absolutely great up until the point where he freaking checkmated Goto.
well like he was getting checkmated from the start.
I felt it. I don't be liking the I don't be liking the to say that, but I felt it.
Yeah, it's like one of those things like they heavily imply it as soon as the fight starts that that's what is happening. Like he's gonna get checkmated, which is super lame. Well, it's not super lame. Like super lame's the wrong way to say it. I just liked him. I liked Goto because you see, like
Like Goto too.
he just wants what is best for Killua because he knows Killua is going to be his boss next. So
Of
once he
course.
learned that Gon, like how much Gon cared for him, he was fine with Gon and stuff like that. Or like the fact that like Goto sussed out why Amane is there in the first place. He just immediately susses it out and just like, so I'm gonna say Illumi's name right at the start so Killua knows what's going on, and how he like lets Killua know what's going on with Leorio even though by saying it loud enough and letting him talk loud enough and everything, like he's doing everything to help Killua, but he has to do it in such a way that it looks like he's not, so that it protects him from his level 4 rating. Or like when the car gets attacked and
Is
he
Silva the one that issues those ratings?
no, it was well actually I do think Silva did it, but it's just because he didn't want Aluka to like destroy stuff, and so he's just like, well, since you're at level 4, I'll send Goto with you, who is the person that I trust the most out of them. And then Goto is just like, stay within 1 meter. That way we don't have to take you back because I understand that you have to help your friend. Because Goto says like when they're getting attacked by the pin people or the needle people, that he says hold on to Alaka like while the car is getting attacked and getting stabbed with the metal things from the 18 wheeler crashing into him. Says don't let her less than a meter out of reach. That way I don't have to turn around and bring you back because he actually wants him to succeed and heal Gon. Because if you remember, he likes Gon.
Yeah. Yeah, Gone made impression on him.
Yeah, especially when he won the game and proved that he wanted what was best for Killua. Because that's all Goto wants. Goto wants what's best for Killua.
I think it had a good Gone and Kilo's relationship having an effect on how Kilo progressed in his growth also was something Goto was paying attention to, if
Also,
that makes
like,
sense.
yeah, it's also Goto like cared about the like relationship of his subordinates too, like making sure they didn't get hurt or anything.
Yeah.
But it's not from like the thing that you just meant, like just in general. but it's also like he's not doing it because he selfishly cares about Canary and Amane. It's because they'll get in his way during the fight, but it's also because he selflessly cares about Killua and Master Silva, so that if those two survive, they can help Killua, and helping Killua helps Master Silva. So like he selflessly helps them because it selflessly helps the person he's actually trying to help, which is why like they cover up his death at the end by having the magical beast that Gon, Killua, Kurapika, and Leorio befriend to become like a fake Goto, because that's what's happening in that
Hmm.
scene at the where
Yeah, that
only
whole
Amane.
montage.
Yeah, during the montage we found out that they're hiding the death of Goto. I don't
Yeah,
know why they're hiding the death of Goto. They probably explain
I
it
was gonna
later on,
ask. I definitely was gonna ask you about that
but not
because
quite sure why.
it makes sense. I ain't gonna lie, it makes a little bit of sense when you think about the dynamic of everything. Because someone's gonna have to find out who killed him. Maybe they're trying to, maybe they're trying to keep a feud from happening, another big feud from happening, because they find out that
Okay, so apparently it's to keep Killua from going after Hisoka.
because Kilo's face does pop up in one, 'cause they don't want to tell him. I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So apparently that's it. It's so they
So
don't
Kilo
want
doesn't know.
Killua to find out and try to kill Hisoka. I assume it's
That makes
because
sense.
they know he wouldn't succeed at this point of his life.
It ain't
Is my
time yet.
feeling. But yeah, that I do like that fight scene just because it shows you like Bungee Gum is actually OP as fuck.
On a lot of levels.
Yeah, because he just uses it
On
to
a lot of
like,
levels.
and it's not broken in general. You
It's
know what I mean? It's
versatile.
broken because of yeah how versatile it is. Like he can use it to do like whatever the fuck he wants. Like he uses it to launch the bullets back or the coins back, and we saw that the
That are
coins
faster than
hit like
bullets. They
50.
say are
Yeah,
faster than bullets.
yeah, it does more
He
damage than
actually
that's why they
says
do
that.
is because they're faster than bullets because like so
I
the
like
fact that he's able to
Goto is
like do
versatile with
that
his coins
stuff.
too.
Yeah, and you see it takes like three of them to rip a tree apart.
What?
So
I
like
saw
they
that and
hit
I was
like
like,
50
Jesus.
BMGs. So the fact that like it shows like how strong Bungee Gum is, it's just like yeah, I made him a little bit slower, and it like almost makes Hisoka kill himself
Yeah.
because they spin so
You gonna
fast.
disengage? You gonna disengage? Or you gonna get hit?
Yeah, and then Hisoka used that entire part like that stuff to change like to trick him because his whole thing is misdirection because he's a magician.
Yeah.
Like that's his
Because he
whole thing.
thought he
He's a
made him,
magician.
yeah. He made him think that he checkmated him when in reality he actually set up a
Yeah,
checkmate for
and so
him.
he just how many coins am I about to shoot back at you? And it's just like just enough to notice, not to notice this, and then slices his throats with the cards.
Just enough to
That
kill
scene's
you.
crazy. Yeah, just enough to kill you. That shit's Hisoka. Like as much as I hate his characterization is so good. Like as much
Yeah,
as
he comes.
I don't like Hisoka, like every time that he shows up and he fights, it's so fucking cool because he doesn't fight
Yeah,
like
his
a traditional
character.
anime character.
No, he doesn't, and his character shows up in some. His best character shows up in some of the most randomest moments that you would never expect or could never predict, which makes it so like special. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and then you see like Bungee Gum, it's like so random and so unique. It's like I'm convinced it's where the dude that wrote My Hero got his idea because like people are just like My Hero, he has like the weirdest powers, but they end up being super cool. Like how people use
Yeah,
the powers. Like I'm convinced he got it from reading this manga.
it's possible. I
Just
put it in
cuz
there.
they're so like the weirdest interactions or like the fact like the entire fight at the start of the fight when he threw all those cards were supposed to distract from the fact that one of the cards he stuck in a tree and used bungee gum to stick to himself so that way it looks like when he set his ground when he activates it on the ground that he wants to stay there. It's actually to distract from the fact that he has bungee gum ready to pull him up at any time, like little stuff like that. That way he can move from whatever direction. And like the entire
Extra
thing was
things.
to like show off, like to see what Goto could do with his. And I also love how about a pop quiz from the Grim Reaper? Like that line goes so hard, dude.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
that line's so hard. Like how about a pop quiz
That
from the
line
Grim
was
Reaper?
great. That line was great.
And
Absolutely
Suboni's
great.
power is fucking crazy. She can turn into vehicles that are super fast, but it hurt like it can kill you to ride them because it takes
Yeah,
so much of
it's
your
gonna drain
neg.
you faster.
Yeah,
So it's gonna drain you a whole lot faster than anything you've ever been on. That's how I to Canary.
yeah. Or the fact like when they finally get to the airport, Canary tricks Amane. Like which one? How are we supposed to fill this out just so they can escape? And just like, damn, that's some big brain bullshit right there, my boy.
I'm talking about simple too. It was so simple.
So simple. It's
Did you do
beautiful.
that? Did you do that to stall time? I did no such thing.
The fuck you mean by stall
Canary's
time?
personality, Canary's personality is so funny.
Yeah, I do
Like
like
just
Canary a
side
lot.
note, bro. She's been a hit ever since she like entered the story, and
Yeah,
it's
and
always nice to see the Butlers come
another
back.
thing that's super interesting is like a big thing that like normally I don't like talking about it just because like it feels like it doesn't matter, but it's cool for Hunter x Hunter because it's like a big deal for it in general. Um, because of when Hunter x Hunter came out originally, like she first showed up in '97. She's like one of the first non-caricature depictions of a black woman in anime.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, she
she's
is
like
pretty
the
accurate.
first.
It is pretty accurate. I will say that. Like you can look at Canary and be like, black woman, real
Yeah.
life, right there.
But it's not just that, it's also like the thing like every time you like see it, it's not like the traditional thing. And what I mean by that is like like I'm trying to think of like the correct way I want to like or not maybe not correct, but like the traditional way of it. Um because like at that point most of the time when like in the 90s like when there's a black person in anime they're typically like shown off as super what's the right word for it like it's hard like you know what I mean like they're shown off like as like
Superhuman.
caricatures. No, they're shown off as caricatures like they got
What does that
like
mean?
racistly fat lips and stuff like that.
Oh, stereotypical.
Yeah, like overly stereotypical, like overly
Yeah,
like objectively racist like how they do it.
yeah. In some way, shape, form. Yeah,
Yeah, they're like objectively racist. And so the fact like this came out in the time frame when they were doing stuff like that in Japan and there's none of that undertone to it is really cool in my
makes
opinion.
it better. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love when a franchise like takes a concept and not like put their own racial or own like biased opinion on it. Just take it, put it in the story, let the audience go. Like how you wouldn't like the fact that around like how you mentioned around the time this came out, there's probably wasn't many black people in anime portrayed around this time, like
Well,
portrayed
there
this
were
way
they were
around
just
this time.
racistly portrayed.
Portrayed this way in Hunter x Hunter around this time. There weren't many that were portrayed like Canary
Yeah.
around this time. And to see this, now you mention it, I never even registered how long ago this came out or even registered or put that undertone on Canary's character. But saying it like you saying it now and me thinking about it, like that's pretty good point. You know, that's something to think about. Like the way Togashi portrayed Canary is top tier. Like next one probably would be that I can think of that a lot of people probably like is Ogun from Fire Force. And a lot of people talk about him and being a
Yeah, like
good
I can
portrayed black
name other
character.
ones, but I can't name other ones that are older than this one.
Yeah, at that time frame. Yeah, of course, of
Well,
course,
like
of course.
arguably like
Oob,
like I don't remember the big dude's name from what's it called from Yu Yu Hakusho, but he I don't think he is.
Oh, you talking about
I think he's like
start with a
supposed to
T.
be Islander. Yeah, the dude
Start with a
that
T.
transforms into like his
Oh,
giant
what
form.
the hell that dude name is? That's one of Keith's favorite. My boy Keith is favorite anime characters. Knocking it.
Yeah, he's
It ain't
dope. I just
Togashi,
can't
is it?
remember his name. M.
Like start with a T. Tomura, Togashi, um,
Toguro. Toguro.
Toguro, Toguro.
Toguro.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, the dude that
Toguro.
like
That's
transforms, like his shoulders
yeah,
get like yeah.
yeah. Shoulders get big as hell.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
his rib cage gets like crazy. Yeah, like
yeah.
but I
That would
don't
be
think
another
he
one.
is. I don't know if he is.
Considered black
He just reminds me of like an islander.
Brazilian.
No, 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 like a Maui.
Oh, Hawaiian. But nah,
No,
man. Freaking
Maui is New Zealand.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know nothing about that.
Yeah, yeah. That's what he reminds me of. Like he might be but like they're
No, but
written
you
by the same person though. So like it's like one of those things. Like the point still stand. It's cool that like it's not a character because even like as much as I love Akira Toriyama's work, the only black person that you see in that before Oob is in Dragon Ball is
say
a is a is the dude that's supposed to be like Muhammad Ali lookalike thing in
Hercule.
the no I guess before
Oh, you
Hercule
talking about?
in regular Dragon Ball.
Oh, crap.
He's like the dude's like clearly based off
You going
Muhammad Ali,
far.
but he's got fucking like giant pink lips like that take up like half his face. You know what like a borderline racist caricature there. So it's
But
just cool
nah,
that like Canary, because people
nah,
think what's
Canary.
his name is, people think Mr. Popo is, but Mr. Popo is actually based off a Hindu god. That's the attendant to one of the head gods, and that's where Mr. Popo comes. Mr. Popo is not based off people. It's based off an actual like Hindu myth that's like 3,000 years old. So like that's why I'm not counting
But
Mr. Popo.
you talk about Canary. I still remember that whole scene with her, Amane. Bro, you see how far Tila was Godspeed has gotten, and like I started thinking about it ever since you mentioned it about how he works his like I would imagine actual lightning to work. Cause like it was in that moment when Simone to him when he seen that they was catching up. He's like, okay, y'all on this pavement. How about you catch up into here? And then they all stopped and then they panned out and looked to where he was. And that boy pretty much skated over trees and then went over that hill pretty much in an instant. It just looked like a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Like everything about Kilo was Godspeed is just increasing ever since it was first introduced.
And remember, it was first introduced like in a week. Like it's been a week. Like it takes place in the same week that it gets introduced. Because remember, this is like days after the fight with what's his name, Yuppie. Because he introduces it in the fight with Yuppie.
That's true. Now I
So
think
like
about it,
he
that's
got
very
that
true.
far, like using it, because that's like the whole thing. He just needs to be able to use it for extended periods of time. Because when he's actually using it, he's like almost unbeatable. And then the stuff with the people in the election trying to change the stuff, like the thing, like the
The
HR
bylaws.
hunter dude. Yeah, the HR hunter dude, and then the Hisoka just goes to kill him. Shows up, kills it, and then all the other guys they just end up dead. Because and they want Moral to become what's it called? They want Moral to take the lead because Moral's apparently very popular, especially after being in charge of the attack on the Chimerians. And then we see the another cool moment is we learned why he was so close to the dude that used the Imari stuff. Imanari. It's because he Moral's a deep sea hunter, and that's why he's
Yep.
so good with smoke. which was really cool to see.
He's a
Like
sea
that's
hunter.
why he, yeah, he's a deep sea hunter, which makes sense. Like why he's got like the crazy like gas tank. Like that's how he beats what's his name. Is he had his like lung capacity is so high that he made the Chimera choke to death on carbon monoxide because he could just hold so much in his
Yep.
lungs, which is crazy. That's so dope, in my opinion. Like personally, I think that's dope as hell. Like personally, I just think that's so dope how they did that. Like how you beat somebody like that, like make them choke to death on your own exhale. Like, dude, that stuff's crazy. Like that's one of the craziest ways to kill someone. But it's cool to see like the entire reason he's able to do that is because he's a deep sea hunter. And then the I like the Hisoka stuff where Hisoka's just like, you know, if I if I kill Aluka right now, I'll get Killua to hate me, and then I get to fight Killua, and then I kill Killua, and then I make Illumi hate me, and then if I make Illumi hate me, I get best of both worlds because I get to fight two people that I want to, and the other way, there's no guarantee I get to fight Gon, which is just super cool in my opinion. Like the whole thing until you learn that there's no back downside for getting healed at all. There's no downside to getting healed except for knocking a ghost to sleep. And it's because Nakana's better at doing bad stuff than good stuff.
Better at destroying than
Yeah,
fixing.
which is super interesting. And apparently, she never asked for anything cruel after that. And apparently, Kinder or Nakana is super kind because she only asks for things worse than what people ask her to destroy. And I love how Kilo is just like, and if you ever treat her as an object again, you'll no longer be my big brother. And the implication of that is that Killua won't feel bad if he has to kill Illumi, which is an awesome
Makes
implication. Like
sense.
I love that implication. It's like I don't have to feel bad if I kill him now. If you keep doing that to my little sister, I don't have to feel bad if I kill you. Which
Yeah,
really cool part.
that's intense right there when you talk about
Yeah.
that. Because Illumi still ain't got it neither. Illumi's still over there like plotting. Even all the way up until the end, he's still plotting.
Yeah, like the whole thing where he's just like, well, since Nakana's this OP, I'm just gonna keep her power and make the Zoldyck family invincible. Or like the moment when he realizes that Gon's invincible as long as he has Aluka with him, because Aluka will do, or Nikana will do whatever he
Nonica.
says. Yeah, Nanika will do whatever he says, which is super interesting. Like to implicate, and like the manga is gonna go into more stuff with Killua and her over time. And then I like the whole when we finally get to see like the stuff in the what's called the election. Leorio almost steals the entire thing, all because he's just like, I don't care about this shit. You guys don't understand. I am going to abuse all my power to make sure we can save Gon. And he almost wins off that. Okay, everyone's just like, he'll make a good chairman. He cares that much about his friends. He'll make a good chairman. And that cracks me the fuck up. That his whole thing is just like, I'm gonna abuse my power. And everyone's just like, yep, we'll take him. Let's go.
That just
Yep.
goes how much they don't like Paris. No, I remember them
I
saying that. Like that just goes like to show how much they don't like Paris and that they gonna go with that. 'Cause I remember Cheeto saying that at the end, right before Gone showed up, or right after Gone showed up. Said just because, or it might have been before, because of how much they don't like Pariston, because that was the reason you just asked questions that they already knew, because he literally just said that in the last round, because they went with it because how much they don't want Pariston up there.
Yeah, because almost no one likes Pariston, and Pariston wins completely off the back of Gon and Lario saying that that's who we want. Like they're fine with him being it because Leorio got the entire reason he was fine with being on the stand in the first place of Gon getting healed. And I also love the like picture that you see with Gon when he's standing there with like all the people that he worked with at different points. Everyone but like
Hmm.
Kurapika and Killua, but we know why Killua's not there. It's so Gon doesn't lose his mind when he finds out that Killua healed him. He needed to let him come to terms with it. And then I love the little thing with Gene. Gene's just like, oh shit, this is bad. I gotta get out of here.
I gotta get out of here. This is bad. This is so bad. He was like losing it for like half a second.
And then everyone, he's like, just like, I'll fight you all right here, right now. When they all call him a shitty dad, he's like, I'll bring it on. I'll take you all on.
And so I
But
don't get the freaking. I don't understand the memes with comparing Gene to Anthony Edwards. I just don't understand it at this point. I mean, at that point, from right there, at that point, they was pointing to it. Because they was keep telling Gene, "Oh, you're a deadbeat. How you ain't want to go see your son and all that." They was pointing it out. But once we got to the end conversation, I'm like, dude, that's more than Anthony Edwards gonna ever do for his kids right there. I don't know where
but
y'all get that from.
like there is like the thing like he was deadbeat for doing it like that, like for dumping his kid on his cousin and then running away. Like let's be real,
Yeah,
that is super deadbeat shit.
yeah,
And he all did
yeah.
it because he was selfish, and that's the entire reason.
He
No
even
other
tells him
reason.
that. Like he even tells Gone that.
But also like we don't know like anything about anything else. It's like another big thing. It's like it could be more complicated than that because we don't know like anything about his mom or anything like that. So there also could be a reason that he had to leave him there in the first place. Like especially if the theory is right that Gone is something to do with something from the Dark Continent. Because there's like a dude that has their same last name that's not related to Gene, but his name is Dawn Freaks and some other stuff. Like I don't know the whole details there, but that's like where the theory that Gon has something to do with the Dark Continent comes from. So, but they haven't revealed it yet, what that means. Just because Tagashi keeps getting sick. Hopefully he gets well enough to finish the story. And then
I
the
hope so too, man. I'm hoping the story gets finished too. 'Cause I'm at that point. I'm ready for the I'm ready for the anime to come back. Hopefully, it does like you said in the beginning.
yeah, I'm praying it comes back. Uh, I actually would rather I would rather it it never the anime never finish, but the manga gets finished though. Like if I could only have one, I'd like
Of
to
course.
know
I mean,
where
that's what
it's
people
going.
want. Of course, everyone want to know where the story is because the anime could come back at any point in time. It's a
Yeah, like anytime
adaptation of the
after that.
manga story.
But now what's the moment with Nakina when he's trying to protect um everyone from Nakino's downside and Nakato's just like, Killua, I love you. And he's just like, you can never come out again. You got that?
Hmm.
And you could tell he feels
That was
terrible
moment
about
was
it.
unprecedented.
Yeah.
That moment was definitely unprecedented. You talk about like everything that went up into that moment. Like Killua went from like doing all of that to kind of think about Alika and protecting Alika, and it made sense. Like everything up until that point made sense what he was doing. Because even me, because the first time watching, I ain't expect it. I not expect for when he actually got Nanika to go away that Alika comes out. and pretty much tells him
Comes
straight
out
up like, how you
swinging
gonna say you gonna
verbally.
protect me? Yeah, comes out swinging verbally and say, how you gonna say you gonna protect me but not protect Nonica?
Yeah,
Nonica's
it's like
me,
we the
pretty
same
much. She
person.
didn't say it
Yeah, yeah. It's
explicitly.
like,
Like we the same person.
or we have the
Like
same
you gonna
body.
protect me? Yeah, you gonna protect me? You gonna protect Nonica? Like what got me was when she came out and said, "What did you do to Nonica?" Like Nonica is in, like she's inside, like balled up, crying right now. What did you do? Like, oh boy, like when she did that, that changed the whole dynamic of everything because everybody's sitting there talking about Alika this, Alika that, Alika this, Alika that. What about Nonica? Like Alika is the only person in the world that cares about Nonica, or it seemed like in that moment,
Well,
or up
Killua
until
does
that point.
too. Killua
Killua
does. Like
does too,
Killua did it to
but it had
protect
to get
everybody.
reinforced. Yeah,
But
but
like,
Killua had to also reinforce that.
but I don't.
He
I
had to
don't
come
think you
back
need to
out and tell
because he
Monica that
felt
he,
like we get his thoughts. Like remember, he feels fucking horrible about doing it to Nanika, but he
yeah,
just doesn't want
yeah.
he doesn't want Gon to die, so that's why he had to do it. And Ill's got in his
But in the
head, and he
same,
doesn't want Ill to be able to abuse Nanika's power now that he knows that if he can manipulate Killua, he can have Killua make Nanika do whatever the fuck he wants. Because Nanika will do
pretty
anything
much.
Killua says. But he also
Yay,
tells Nanika
yay,
don't grant other people's wishes anymore. And that
yay.
way he can praise her
But
whenever.
his, yeah, don't grant anybody's wish, any other wishes but mine.
Yeah, and I like how you see
Yay,
Subone, how Subone felt terrible about it.
bruh.
About having a spot.
Subane
Like
was,
at first you're just like
Subane was
fuck
sitting there,
Subane, and then you're just like
bruh.
Subane's
Subane
actually a
right there.
gangster.
Yeah, bruh. Subane right there in that moment, bruh. Let you know everything about what she said up until that point was true. Like how Silva, everything she had said up until that point, when that moment came,
You cut out
it just
there.
let you know
Yeah,
everything
there
was
you
true.
go.
How she said Silva's action on Kilo's side. I'm sorry. Everything up until that moment, that
And the
Savannah
mom's a
said,
bitch,
that moment proved it was true. Yeah, the mom's a
cause she
bitch.
does tell the mom's
Silva's
a
on your
bitch.
side. Yeah, the mom's a bitch. Silva's on your side, and he actually wants you to just get home. He actually wants what's best for you and get home safe. And then I feel like when Keela said that's the problem back in the beginning, that's the problem. Y'all don't want Alika to get home safe, so it's fuck y'all. Like that jump was, bro. That was a top. That was a cold moment. Like Keela's had some real cold moments in the show.
Yeah, he has. Also, like right after that, when we see like everything else that's happened in the story, like he climbs the world tree in 10 minutes. We see Kurapika has collected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
10, 10,
9, 10.
10,
I'm not
10.
sure if it's
I
10
counted.
eyeballs or 10 pairs.
It's
So it could
10
only be
canisters.
five
I know
people.
that much.
I know
10
that, but they
canisters.
only show one eyeball per canister. So it could be because remember the original canister had two eyes in it. So I'm
Yeah,
assuming
each
it's
one.
10 people's eyes, but it could only be five
So
people's
20.
eyes.
So it could either be 5 or it could be 20.
Could be 20.
It could be
What you mean could be 20?
no 5 people's or 10 people.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it's either five different people or 10 different people. But
So
I
it's either
lean
10 eyes or
towards
20 eyes.
10. Yeah. And then the scene where it shows that like confirms their death, like it shows their actual death with like the king and the queen Gumungi,
Yeah,
like
Shoji and
that
King,
Gungi. Yeah, yeah,
Shinobi and
Gungi.
King.
That shit is sad as fuck, dog.
They brought it back, and I'm like, damn, bro, y'all knew what y'all was doing. Y'all knew the anime was y'all was gonna stop the anime right here.
Like that shit is so sad, dude. Like it shows the and then we get the conversation with Gon and Killua. Well, first we get Killua thanking Nanika and Aluka and learning the truth, and we see like the next part of the story. Like the implication is that it's gonna cover Killua and Aluka. But I love their little talk, or like not even their little talk, but him climbing the tree. He sees someone who fell, and Gon's just like, "Yeah, I'll help him." Like we just get like little bits of characterization through it too, constantly, which is really cool. Gotta love when we get characterizations from the characters. Love it. And then when he gets
Of
to the
course.
top, and it's just giant fucking birds, like 18-wheeler sized birds. And then they tell each other everything, and we learn the world tree is just a old tree. that was a sapling that stopped growing. It was supposed to be so much bigger. Like it's
And then
supposed to
after that,
go
bro,
out
that
to
joke was
outer
so funny.
space.
That joke was so funny. Right after he say that, dude, gone, it go to gone, and then it pan out to how big the tree is from where they are.
Hmm.
Man, and that joke was supposed to be so much bigger. And then he tells us what actually is the world and where it actually is, how it's outside the dark continent and actually reaches into the
Yeah, it's
atmosphere
in
and its
the
roots
dark
eat
continent.
magma.
Well, like there's
Its
a
roots eat
like
magma.
the big thing is like the world is apparently fucking mass. Like they know like these continents, but apparently the dark continent is bigger than any other continent. Like it's like how big exactly is it? Yeah, the dark continent is thought to be larger than all the other continents put together.
When he showed that picture, he showed
Well,
the
that has like
picture,
really weird like scaling like the perspective on it super weird. But the
but
theory
it's still
is
bigger.
that like the yeah, it's big, but like it might actually be that much bigger. Like with the skewed perspective, like the hella skewed perspective, it might actually be that much bigger. Like without the skewed perspective, which is fucking wild in my opinion. And then he drops one of the hardest lines in the entire show after they tell each other their story.
hmm
Things
Go
that
ahead.
are,
I
or
know what you're talking about.
Gene says, things that are, or first he says, like, make sure you take lots of stops along the way. And then things that are
Enjoy the
more
side,
important,
enjoy the side stops along the
yeah,
way. A lot, actually.
things are more important, or things that are more important than what you're hunting for could be right there by the side of the road. And that's like the image, like his quote saying that is what ends the entire anime.
Yep. And bruh, and Togashi dropped a lot of older moments in this, and it's that was one of them because that one thing right there just let go back to like when Luffy was talking about explaining his adventure and stuff like that, and then of course the other older moment that I was gonna mention when he brought pretty much the whole fucking cast right back into the story again, right behind Gon getting healed. That was a rally moment, bro. I was really, really up, really, pumped when that happened. And like you said, man, like that line alone, bro, kind of symbolized a lot of the stuff that kind of was going on and a lot of what they was doing. Like they had a lot of goals that they were doing, but in the same time, the goals that they were doing, a lot of the side stuff led to a lot of the big victories that they had. Because you talk about Gone in Greed Island, he had one goal, and that was to see his dad and of course get stronger. But you also see how Gene kind of told him he was doing the right thing at the same time when in the same conversation he was telling him that you was already been following in my footsteps. He
Yeah, it's
tell him like
crazy.
you pretty much I was trying to gather a bunch of friends, gather a bunch of people and colleagues of all different races, regardless of what they were from, and pretty much all get them to a place, all because they just wanted to know more, not because of who they were, but just because of the fact they wanted to know more. And he kind of was doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's man, God, I want the rest to get animated so bad, dude.
You ain't the only one, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a holiday for real once it come back. Be a good year, man. Whole bunch of anime dropping some banger seasons this year. I'll be love to get a
Oh, okay,
surprise
so
like
what's it called? Apparently the next thing is gonna be about Netero's son. Like that's what the next chapter starts on. It's something about Netero apparently had a son. Dragon's just like, well, I guess I gotta cancel my afternoon plans.
I'm read. I'm gonna read a good bit of it today. At what point it be? Because I just jumped on Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's been fun. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about today with the stuff?
Man, just bruh, Hunter x Hunter, bruh, top 10 all time, no matter which way you cut it. I don't really see it anyway, because there's no way, bro, I could watch this at the point that I've watched everything else now and just be like, wow, as much as I have. There's no way it's not a top 10 anime.
It sounds like
At
it's
least
closer
top
to
10
being in your
shonen.
top five,
That's a
like with
that's
how
a
you
second.
talking about it.
Let me watch it a second time, and then well, fuck it. Let me get through the manga, and I'll let you know for sure, for sure, for sure.
Well,
Cause
like,
the way I put the same kind of understanding with One Piece, cause like I don't watch the anime several
yeah,
times now, and I've kept up with the manga and of course the whole conversation and stuff around the manga, so I'm all the way in it. But like when it comes to Hunter x Hunter, I'm interested to see how the manga like takes the story from where it was in the anime and how does it
hmm
enhance it after that? That's what I like. Because with Demon Slayer, that's what it was. Like I got into the right after Entertainment District. And for those of you
so
that know, I ain't gonna spoil it for no. Well, no, at this point I can't because Swordsmith Village already animated. But this is before Swordsmith Village was animated, bro.
yeah,
Like
Relay
I
District
read
was like
Swordsmith
2 years
Village.
ago,
Yeah,
or
but
maybe 3.
I read Swordsmith Village before it got animated. That was the first arc I read in Demon Slayer, and that shit was tough. So it enhanced the story perfectly for me.
But
And of course, One Piece was I read into Gear 5, so you
so
can imagine how that was.
no, there is a big thing though. Next week we are going to be watching
Yep. Say it.
my
Don't say it.
favorite slice of life, which is saying a lot because I only like two slice of life animes. And this one, I don't know if it's in my top 5 or top 10.
I haven't seen enough slice of life to tell you about it.
I've seen
I haven't
like
seen enough.
bits and pieces. Cause like I don't consider Spy X Family a slice of life, even though I guess like it technically it, but I don't like considering it because it's like a spy thing. But also like I like this so much more than Spy X Family. We're gonna be watching for the end of April. We're gonna be watching Your Lie in April. So if I just make sure you're emotionally ready for this, everybody that's gonna watch next week's podcast, because it's gonna hurt.
Another first for me. So y'all tune
Yeah,
in for that. Bye. And that's the
yeah, yeah.
20, 24, 26, ain't it?
It's 22 episodes.
22. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 22 episodes.
Run through that.
But I don't think I really told you much what it's about, and I'm not giving you any more context. Like, try to let you go in as
Sorry.
blind as possible, because it makes
Sorry.
it
I
better.
will. I
Uh,
will. I don't
but
know that
yeah,
much
that's
about
next
it
week.
already.
But we're gonna be sad boys next weekend. We're gonna next podcast we're gonna be sad, unfortunately. But also we're gonna be happy because the ending's happy. So, but yeah, that's it for this week. Hopefully, see y'all next week for the 1 week of Your Lie in April, just because it's not very long. And then after that, I'm not sure what we're gonna do after that. I had a couple ideas. We'll know by next week what's next. But I hope you
I'm
have a
good.
good rest of y'all's week. Remember to like, comment,
Happy
subscribe.
Easter.
Oh yeah, happy Easter. Almost forgot about that. I keep forgetting it's Easter.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all as always. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and y'all have a good safe week. And this is Corrupted
And a dragon.
signing off.